Here we are at the AI Summit in New York, and joining me today from Swiss Re is Jeff. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Chuck. It's great to be here. Thank you so much. Really an honor.
So tell me a bit about what you do at Swiss Re.
So I lead global data and analytics for the corporate solutions actuarial team. So we're focused on really delivering data and insights back to the business for the purposes of profitability and pricing, our various products.
So can you talk about, you've been in financial services for a while, can you talk about financial services and where AI fits in financial services in general?
I think AI really fits in driving the things that we all are looking for, which is really top line, bottom line, and operational efficiency. So anything that we can use to make a faster decision and sort of accelerate the underwriting process, which is really what we do at the core of insurance, really hits the operational efficiency decisions we can make. So where to prioritize quoting and placing risk, really drives top line. And if we are more accurate in our predictions on sort of expected loss, then that lends itself to profitability. So really along those three areas of driving sales, really focus on profitability and sort of implementing things that can create operational efficiency.
So where's the issue of trust come in terms of trusting that the AI is right?
So explainability is the big thing, right? So if you can show your stakeholders or customers, how the model is coming up with the results, what the results are, and sort of what are you looking at in terms of features, I think, and be transparent about that and help people understand the risk and understand their own risks, I think you can get to trust. Really, we want to move beyond this sort of image that we just don't want to pay claims. That's completely not true. It's just that when there's sort of an unknowable or knowable about claims, we will price accordingly. And if we can help you understand that, then I think we move beyond just sort of assessing and servicing risk to really starting to provide prescription and predictability around loss events. And I think that's a service that we can provide to people to help them start to avoid, sort of bad events and mitigate their risk.
So how does an institution determine basically how much AI to use? How deep do they go versus the humans making their own judgment calls?
I think it's really the cost of your errors, right? So you really have to look at the error rate and say, what's the cost of this error? And you have to draw a line in the sand. So I don't think of it as all or nothing in AI where you just, run very fast processes. I think you should really look at the segmentation within your predictions, and you can get to a certain comfort level that you can use maybe this for part of the process on the low-hanging fruit, and then leave the really difficult or costly sort of predictions back to the intuition and judgment of the experts.
So are we at the stage in financial services where everybody's in? It's just a matter of where they are?
I think so. I think from an actuarial perspective, I think AI is not going to replace actuaries, but an AI-powered actuary will likely win over a non-AI powered actuary is the way to think about it.
So how does it get started?
So you really have to, it's really data first. If you have no data, you really don't have the ability to train a model, but I think you also need the workflows of digitally native data or really fast input, if you really have to bootstrap to really implement an AI solution. So really think about the processes, how you can digitize them, and then you could start thinking about placing this into the expert system.
So do you have to convince people that AI is the way to go, or do they already buy in? Then you just have to show them how to do it?
You always have to convince somebody at the end of the day of the application and the value, right? So you have to get your sort of users who are using the AI to buy into actually following the process, but then you always have to justify the return on investment to somebody that's funding the project. So those are.
So is the tough part of this people or is it technology?
I think it's both, right? The skill sets to deploy and implement data engineering solutions as well as AI are scarce, right? It's hard to get good people, and at the same time, it's very hard culturally to get us to change the way we've always done things because we're comfortable with it.
So you're getting involved in visionaires.
Yeah, yes, fairly recently. Yes, I know Natalia for some time, and she got me involved.
So what do you know about visionaires?
I think it's just thought leadership for various people in industry that want to drive this AI topic, and it's very interesting to see the diverse, kind of industries that are representative, and try to get some perspective on where we think we might be able to provide some thinking around where this goes in the future.
Well, I look forward to see what you do in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate it.